Imagine if the very thing you've spent your entire life trying to escape, your wounds, your grief, your fears, weren't obstacles, but invitations. What if the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the losses were not detours from your destiny, but signs you were getting closer to it? This isn't optimism. It's not romanticizing suffering. It's a brutal, raw truth. Your pain knows the way. It speaks the language of purpose, if only you're brave enough to listen. Today, we'll explore an idea that both terrifies and transforms. The wound is not where you're broken, it's where you begin. Section 1. The hidden language of pain. Pain has its own intelligence, but it doesn't whisper. It screams, not to torment you, but to awaken you. Think about how many times life has tried to speak to you through discomfort. You stayed in the wrong relationship, the wrong job, the wrong version of yourself, until it became unbearable. Why? Because growth is often preceded by tension. Your higher self begins to fight against the small, constructed self, and pain becomes the battlefield. But here's what most people never realize. Pain doesn't show up randomly. It's targeted, personal, intimate. It arises where your story is trying to change. Section 2. The wound as a gateway. In ancient initiations, the wound wasn't something to heal. It was the passage. To be cut, bruised, broken was to be reborn. In myth, heroes don't discover their greatness until they fall. Odysseus, Moses, Buddha, Christ, they all descended before they rose. They were wounded, not because they were weak, but because their strength had to be revealed in the dark. And so it is with you. Your wound, whatever it is, that trauma no one knows about, that shame you keep buried, that mistake that haunts you, it's not a dead end, it's a threshold. And what lies beyond it is you, the real you, the one that hasn't been shaped by survival, but by truth. Section 3. The masks we wear. We are taught from an early age to hide what hurts. We smile when we want to cry. We stay quiet when our voice is shaking. We perform. We please. We protect the illusion of okay. But masks have weight, and over time, they bury us alive. You've probably heard this quote before. People don't fake depression. They fake being okay. Why do we fake it? Because we think if people saw what's underneath, the sadness, the rage, the confusion, they'd turn away. But here's the paradox. The more we hide, the more disconnected we feel. And the more disconnected we feel, the more pain we carry. Until one day, something breaks. That breakdown is the moment your real self says, I'm done living a lie. Section 4. How the wound speaks. The wound speaks in patterns, recurring relationships, repeating failures, dreams you keep ignoring, triggers that seem irrational. They're not random. They're messages. Your jealousy may be a cry for self-worth. Your rage may be grief in disguise. Your anxiety may be intuition you've silenced for too long. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." But what if that's the only way to truly be free? Because once you listen to the wound, you begin to understand your story, not just the version you tell the world, but the one you've been running from in silence, the one you whisper to yourself at night, the one you've rewritten 1,000 times just to make it more bearable. You begin to see how the broken pieces were never really broken, just waiting to be seen. And it's in that raw, unfiltered truth that transformation begins. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you finally stopped pretending to be someone else. Section 5. The purpose within the pain. People spend their whole lives asking, what's my purpose? They look outward. They seek answers in jobs, relationships, validation. But purpose isn't a profession, it's a process. And often, it's buried under the rubble of your most painful moments. Think about it. The woman who was silenced becomes a voice for the voiceless. The man who grew up fatherless becomes a mentor. The child who was bullied becomes a healer. The addict becomes a guide for others in darkness. It's not coincidence, it's alchemy. Purpose is the transmutation of pain into power, and only those who walk through their wounds get to carry that fire. Section 6. The mirrors in our lives. Every person you meet is a mirror, especially the ones who annoy, hurt, or trigger you the most. That's the wound showing up in disguise. You hate their arrogance because you've suppressed your confidence. You're jealous of their freedom because you've denied your desires. You avoid their pain because it mirrors your own. Projection is real, but so is the opportunity it offers. Instead of asking, why are they like this? Ask, what is this showing me about myself? That question can change your entire life, because every time you reclaim a piece of yourself from the mirror, you become more whole. Section 7. How to begin. So how do you begin this work? How do you turn pain into purpose? Here are 4 questions. Write them down. Sit with them. Let them disturb you. 1. What moment in my life changed me forever? And what did I lose that day? 2. What emotion do I fear feeling the most? 3. Whose voice still echoes in my head when I doubt myself? 4. What have I survived that others didn't? Now look at the answers. What wisdom do they carry? What passion have they ignited? What truth have they buried? The more you name your pain, the less power it holds. And perhaps most importantly, what would it mean to live your life like these answers matter? To make decisions not from fear, but from clarity. To choose relationships that see your whole self, not just the version you package for approval. To stop asking, what do they want from me? And start asking, what do I owe to the truth within me? Because until you live by your inner truth, you're just surviving, and you weren't born to survive. You were born to become. Section 8. Creativity from suffering. The most powerful art in the world comes from broken hearts. The most moving songs, the most unforgettable stories, the most legendary movements were born from wounds. Don't let anyone convince you your pain is useless. Your pain is sacred. It's your teacher, your raw material, your spark. Start where you are. Write it, paint it, speak it, dance it, even if your voice trembles. Especially if your voice trembles. Because the world doesn't need more perfection. It needs truth. And your truth might be the medicine someone else is dying for. Section 9. The collective wound. We live in a world that denies pain. Numb it, medicate it, filter it, hide it. But what if we stop doing that? What if more people embrace their shadow instead of projecting it? What if we all faced our pain, learned from it, grew through it? We'd have fewer wars, less hate, more empathy. Because when you own your pain, you stop using others as punching bags. You become softer, stronger, human. You realize that beneath all the masks, we're all just carrying wounds, and maybe healing each other is the point. Section 10. Final message. So I leave you with this. Your wound is not your weakness. It's your initiation. It's the fire that forges your strength, the doorway to your deepest truth, the mirror that shows you who you really are. Don't hide it. Don't rush to fix it. Listen to it. And when the time comes, share what it taught you, because that's how we heal. That's how we grow. That's how we remember that we were never broken, only becoming. Then choose to honor it, speak from it, create through it, because someone out there is still trapped in the silence you just escaped. Someone is still living the wound you've made peace with, and your story might be the bridge they need. In a world addicted to noise, your authenticity is a revolution. So rise, not in spite of the wound, but because of it. If you crave truth that challenges belief, if you question everything you've been told, then hit subscribe, because on this channel, we don't just ask what, we ask why. Welcome to 999. Stay curious, stay awake,